Welcome all you amazing chefs out there. We have a wonderful show lined up for you today. We're going to be cooking some of my family's favorite dishes. I'm Chef Michael Cortez with Amazing Chef Creations. Some of the dishes that we have today, I really enjoy cooking with my wife, daughter, and my son. We're going to be starting off with a scallop dish. It's a wonderful appetizer. I think that works well with any occasion. And then we're going to be moving on to a beef, salmon, and a sea bass dish, all interchangeable. So if you have a couple of different things that you'd like to do with those, we're going to show you some basic techniques that is going to go ahead and make all of your recipes and all of your entrees come out wonderful. We're also going to go ahead and finish with a chocolate mousse, one of my personal favorites. I'm sure that any of your guests are going to enjoy as well. All right, now we're going to start on the wonderful scallops we have here. We have some nice sea scallops. We have a wonderful sea scallop plate that we're going to put in all our dish on here. And then we're going to just first start off with seasoning the scallops a little bit. Remember, we want a nice even season all the way through. Surface area is what we're actually trying to get, so that way each and every bite has a really nice flavor to it. We're going to season both sides. Definitely want to get both the sides of your scallop seasoned. Got our crushed black pepper here. All right, so we want to make sure that our pan's nice and warm. We're going to add a little bit of olive oil to it. Grab our scallops here. And we want to make sure that we hear that nice sizzle. If you don't hear that sizzle, you want to turn up the fire a little bit. If it looks like it's starting to get too hot, you also want to turn it down a little bit. Everybody's stoves are different, so you really gotta listen to hear that noise for you. And so every time that we're adding another scallop, we want to make sure that we're hearing that noise. We want to hear that nice sizzle. If for some reason your heat's not high enough and you don't hear that sizzle, turn it up a little bit. Wait a few seconds if you need to, just so this way the temperature of the pan comes up nice. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this one up just a little bit. I'm going to add these scallops in there. And we're just going to let them sit there. You really don't want to be shaking the pan at this point. You want to let them get a nice caramelization, get some nice color to them. And we're just going to let them sit there for just a couple minutes. We're going to let them get nice golden brown. Once we start to see the edges of them start to get brown, that's when we're going to go ahead and flip them over. Again, we have that really nice sizzle. You can see that the oil is doing its job, getting a nice sear color to them. Again, we don't want to shake them around. You don't want to move the pan too much. So this way, when we flip them over, you have a nice presentation to it. You don't want to overcrowd the pan. You don't want to have too much in there, so that way it doesn't start to steam it up. You really want to get that nice sort of sizzle to them. You give them a little bit of space. All right, so we got about 1 or 2 more minutes. We're just gonna check the bottom of them. I'm gonna check all of them just to make sure that we have a really good color, which we do. Be about maybe 2 minutes just to let them go a little bit more. I'm gonna lower the flame just a little bit, just so this way we start cooking all the way through. Also gonna go ahead and start on some a little bit of chopped onion, so that way we can add to our pan. We can make a really nice roasted corn sauce, and we're gonna go ahead and start on that over here. All right, we're ready to flip these guys over. They have some really nice color to them. As you can see, they have a beautiful crust to them. It's gonna help give us some really nice flavor. We're gonna let them sit in there for about 30 seconds, just to start kind of getting the other side of them warmed up. We're actually gonna take them out of the pan, and then we're gonna end up putting them back in once we have our sauce, so this way we can finish them up. We don't wanna overcook them, so this way they're nice and tender. All right, so we're gonna chop a little bit of white onion here. And we're gonna add that to our scallop dish. We're also gonna add a little bit of celery to our dish. We're gonna build a really nice sauce for this. We're gonna add a little Chardonnay cream. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how to make the Chardonnay cream. It's a really easy sauce to make. Remember this, we're also gonna use this in all our other applications when we make the rest of the meal here. All right, now that we have our celery and onions chopped and our scallops have some really nice color to it, as you can see there's a little bit of residue left in the pan from the scallops. We're just gonna add our onions in there and we're gonna go ahead and saute these guys up a little bit. I'm gonna add just a little dash of olive oil in there one more time. Add a little salt and pepper, a little bit of pepper. And then at this point now we can actually start moving the pan. So you got a little sizzle to it. Once we hear that sizzle, we're gonna add a little bit of white wine. Just enough to where we cover the surface of the bottom of the pan. And we wanna hear that bubbling happen. We wanna make sure that we cook off all the alcohol in the wine. As you can see, the pan now is almost clean. This is really what's gonna help develop the flavors in our dish right here. I'm also gonna take a little bit of heavy cream. Once we can start seeing that all of the wine has started to bubble, we wanna make sure that there's the wine bubbling all the way around the pan. And this is gonna be our technique that we're gonna use for all our sauces and all our different proteins here. So I'm gonna add a little bit of heavy cream to it. We're just gonna let that cook for about a minute or two. Turn that up a little bit so that way it comes to a boil. As it reduces down, it'll start to get a little bit thicker. And then what we're gonna do next is we're gonna add a little bit of our corn that we've been roasting in the oven. Once we start to see our cream bubbling, that's kind of where we want to be. And then at this point, we're going to go ahead and turn it off for a second. We have roasted corn that we have over here on our cutting board. We're going to go ahead and start chopping that off. All right, now that we have the base of our sauce ready to go, I've grabbed a little bit of our roasted corn here. I roasted it in the oven for about maybe 20 minutes or so and then just cut it off the cob. I do like to have a little bit of the chunks showing so that way they know that it's fresh corn as opposed to frozen corn. So I'm gonna turn our burner back on here. And as you can see that our cream is starting to come to a boil. I'm gonna go ahead and add the corn to it. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of chopped bacon, nice and crispy, because bacon makes everything taste good. And then I'm gonna let that cook in there for about a minute or two. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add my scallops back into our dish, so this way they can finish up. So we're gonna add those guys back in there. And we do wanna add them and make sure that the cooked side is still sitting up. We wanna make sure that we keep all that caramelization on our dish. And we're just gonna let that cook for about another 1 to 2 minutes, just where it's nice and firm. Now that we've let our scallops cook for about another 2 minutes on the other side, and they're nice and ready to go, we're gonna go ahead and start plating here. I actually got a really nice set of sea scallop shells. So we're gonna put these guys on. These look great, by the way. Has a really nice color to them. Set these guys right here. Then we're gonna add our sauce. This is our Chardonnay cream sauce with a little bit of bacon and roasted corn. I'm gonna get a nice amount of sauce on all these guys here. And we're gonna go ahead and just finish these out with a little bit of chopped chives. And there you go. That's our pan-roasted sea scallops with roasted corn and bacon with a Chardonnay cream sauce. All right, so up next we have our beef tenderloin, our Chilean sea bass, and our salmon dish that we're gonna be preparing. We're gonna be preparing 3 different sides for it. We have a ditalini pasta that we're gonna be making a truffle mac and cheese with. We have a little bit of quinoa that we're gonna be using for our salmon dish. And then we also have a little bit of couscous here that we're gonna be using for our Chilean Sea Bass dish. Right now we have some water set up over here, all boiling. The first one, we're gonna go ahead and throw in our ditalini pasta into the water over here. All right, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna start cooking our pasta. We have a pot of water that's already boiling, and we're gonna add a little bit of salt to it. We wanna get a nice amount of salt, probably about 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons of salt. We've got our ditalini pasta here. We're gonna go ahead and put that in the water, and we're gonna let that go for about 10 minutes. And we also have another pot of water boiling here. We're gonna just turn this guy up, same thing. And then we're gonna add the quinoa to it. And same thing, we're gonna let it cook for about 10 minutes. We're gonna add a little bit of salt, 2 pinches. And so each one of those guys is gonna take about 10 minutes to cook. And then we have also another pot of boiling water, and then we're gonna start cooking our couscous with that one. So with this one, all we wanna do is just make sure that we have a nice amount of couscous in there, usually about 2 ounces per person. And then we're gonna take our boiling water and add it to the bowl, just to where it kind of covers it up a little bit. And we're gonna go ahead and let this here kind of steep. There's not much to do with this one. It's actually a pretty simple dish to make. And then we're just gonna cover it and let it sit for about 10 minutes as well. And then while this is cooking, we're gonna go ahead and start working on our vegetable dish, or the vegetable sides for our dish right here. We're gonna take a couple of pieces of chives that we're gonna go ahead and put in the water. And these guys just take a second to cook. What we're really trying to do is just get them nice and soft. This way they're easy to work with. We'll take these guys and we're gonna go ahead and set these off to the side here for work. And what you'll also notice is that they turn nice and bright green, which is really what you want. We also have some asparagus that we're gonna be using for our asparagus vegetable bundles. I've chopped them down, and what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna blanch them. We're gonna get them nice and green. It's only gonna take about a minute or 2 for them to cook. You can also do this ahead of time. So if you have a big party, you can make a bunch of these and then just have them ready to go. And then you can also just kind of pop them back in the oven, maybe 2 or 3 minutes at 350 degrees up until they're nice and warm. All right. So now that we have our asparagus, we're gonna pull these guys out. They've been sitting in the water for about 2 minutes. As you can see, they're a nice bright green color. You can do broccoli this way, sugar snap peas, any sort of green vegetable. Just let them sit in there a minute or 2 in some nice boiling water, and then just pull them out, and you'll have them ready to go. All we're gonna do now is just season them with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil and a little kosher salt. I'm gonna grab some black pepper here. I'm gonna season them. And what you'll notice is I'm kind of trying to get the surface area of everything, so that way each individual bite is gonna have a really nice flavor to it. All right, so now that we have our quinoa ditalini pasta as well as our couscous ready to go, we're gonna put these guys off to the side, and then we're gonna come back to those and finish those up here in a minute. Right now we're gonna start working on our beef tenderloin dish, our Chilean sea bass, as well as our salmon dish. Really saute is what we're really gonna be focusing on here. I'm just gonna go ahead and season these up just so this way we can get them ready to set them in the pan. So really nice kosher salt. And we wanna get an even seasoning on all these guys. So as I mentioned before, you can get a really nice flavorful bite in each dish. All right, now that we have our protein seasoned, we're gonna go ahead and take them over and get them ready for the pan. All right, so now that we have all our pans on the stove ready to go, I wanna just kind of feel to make sure that we got a little bit of heat coming from all of them. We're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of olive oil to all our pans. And again, what we're looking here is just really trying to focus on our technique. I wanna make sure again that our pans are warm. And then we're gonna go ahead and start putting in our proteins. I went ahead and also seasoned the other side, so that way we have both sides seasoned, so it has a really nice flavor to it. As you can see, not only can you hear the sizzle, but you can also see that it has a nice kind of bubble to it. We're also noticing that none of the pans are smoking, which is something that we want to avoid. Again, same thing there, you can hear that sizzle, you can kind of see it. And then as far as time-wise, it should only take about maybe 2 or 3 minutes. This one you can see, as I mentioned before, you want to make sure that you have that sizzle like we do in the beef pan. But since this one doesn't, we're going to go ahead and turn the flame up just a little bit. Once we start hearing that sizzle, we can go ahead and adjust our flame again as well. And what we're really trying to focus on here is just the same way that we're going to be making all of these sauces here. We're also going to make a separate sauce for our truffle mac and cheese. We're going to add a little bit of white wine to this pan, and we want to bring that to a boil. And once it starts to bubble, we're going to let it go ahead and cook for about maybe 2 to 3 minutes. I'm going to turn that guy up just a little bit, just so that way it has brings it to a nice boil. In the meantime, while we have these cooking here, we're going to let them, just like we did with the scallop dish, we're going to go ahead and check these guys in about maybe 2 to 3 minutes, just to make sure that they have a really nice color to them. So as you can see on this one has a really nice color, so we're going to go ahead and flip that guy over. And then with our fish dish, we're going to check to see if these guys have some nice color to them, which you can see it's starting to get a little bit more, but we just want to let it sit there and really kind of develop the color. The color is also going to help develop the flavor once we add all our additional ingredients in there. Same with the salmon, we check it just to see that it's starting to get a little bit of color to it. Again, we don't want to shake the pan. We want to let it kind of sort of do its thing. Bring it up. We'll let this cook here for about 2 to 3 minutes. All right, awesome. Now everything looks like it's got really color on the presentation side. We went ahead and flipped it over, and we're gonna let this side cook for about a minute or two as well. And then at this point, really making the sauce is what we're gonna be focusing on. Each one can have a different set of vegetables. You can even do it without vegetables like we do for our white wine cream sauce over here. In each one of these dishes, I'm gonna add a little bit of celery, a little bit of carrots. These two, I'm just gonna add the celery and the carrots, or the celery and the onions in here. And this is gonna help develop our sauce with it as well. And give it a little shake. Give a little shake on all of these guys. All right, so now that we have our white wine reduced and this one's cooking, we're gonna add our white wine to the fish one. We're gonna add a little bit of white wine to our Chilean Sea Bass. And then I'm gonna use red wine for our beef dish, just because I like it to give it a little bit more body. We have a really nice Cabernet Sauvignon. So as you can see, we have our white wine. It's coming to a really nice boil. This one has a nice boil to it, so we're gonna add a little bit of heavy cream to it. This one's gonna be for our truffle mac and cheese. This one's gonna be our sauce for our Chilean Sea Bass, as well as for our light cream sauce for our salmon. And then at this point, we wanna give it a little bit of stir, shake them around a little bit, make sure that everything's incorporated there. Let our beef dish cook down as well. Each one of these is gonna have a really unique sauce flavor to it, because each of the proteins is gonna have a little bit of a different flavor to it. So we're gonna add a little bit of salt into all our dishes. We wanna make sure that we have some really good flavor, as well as a little bit of pepper in all our dishes here. And we're just gonna let them cook for about another 1 to 2 minutes. At this point, you really do want to try to taste all your food. This way, you make sure that you have everything that you need. Oh, that tastes excellent. All right. That one also tastes really good. I can always remember being in the kitchen with my mom, going in there, sneaking in the kitchen, tasting a little bit of things, and kind of always going back and forth. And she was always just mentioning, you really got to taste all your food, so this way you know that it's got some really good flavor to it. So earliest memories of me being in the kitchen, I think that's really what kind of sparked my love and interest for being a cook and really becoming a chef. This is our cream sauce. It's ready to go for our truffle mac and cheese. I'm gonna go ahead and turn all these guys off, and then we're gonna go ahead and start getting our side dishes together and completing all our vegetables. So now that we have our vegetables and all our meat, sides, and proteins ready to go, we're gonna go ahead and finish up our vegetable dish here. We're gonna take the chives that we blanched in the hot water. We're gonna take about 7 or 8 of these nice looking asparagus. We're gonna add a little bit of the carrot, the bell pepper, and the yellow bell pepper. And we're gonna tie these guys with a chive right here. So each one of these are gonna be what we use for each one of our dishes. And you can go ahead and make these ahead of time. What's great about that is you can always just have these guys ready to go. Season them up with a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of salt and pepper, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. And then when we're ready, we can go ahead and add those to our dish. We're gonna go ahead and add the couscous and our quinoa next. We're gonna finish those guys up. We're gonna add a little bit of parsley to the quinoa dish, and we're gonna add a little bit of cilantro to this one. And then what I also like to do is we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of chopped bell pepper. I'm gonna show you guys a quick little technique to get this bell pepper nice and cleaned, ready to go. Cut a little bit of these up. We're gonna add a little bit of that to our couscous here. Adds a little bit of color, a little bit of flavor. I'm gonna show you that technique one more time. Chop off the ends. Find the side that's a little bit on the flat side. And we're just gonna kind of unroll it. Keep your knife flat. Go ahead and move these guys off the way. And then this way you have all the seeds and everything. You don't have to worry about any of those guys getting in your dish. And we're gonna add the red bell peppers to our quinoa dish here. And you really could, at this point, add any sort of vegetables that you like. Sugar snap peas, chopped broccoli. Again, this is just, imagine like you're kind of making a cheese pizza here. Just at that point, then you can add the toppings and customize it any way you'd like. So we're gonna go ahead and mix those in. Got these guys mixed in here. And then we're gonna take our cream sauce that we made earlier. We're gonna add that to our mac and cheese. This is our ditalini pasta. We have a truffle pecorino here. It's got a really nice truffle fragrance to it. Gonna mix those dishes in. And now that we have everything ready, we're gonna go ahead and plate everything up. Bring these guys off to the side. Take just a little bit of our couscous and a little bit of olive oil. Make sure that it's nice and seasoned. Same thing with our quinoa over here. Same thing, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. All right, and now at this point, we're ready to start plating everything. All right, awesome. So we got everything pretty much cooked. Everything's coming together, looking nice. You got a lot of color, a lot of different variations of everything that we have going on here. So now we're just gonna plate everything. We have our truffle mac and cheese, we have our quinoa, as well as our couscous. Add a little bit of carrots to give it a little bit more color. Really wanna make sure that those colors pop. So the first dish that we're gonna go ahead and plate up is gonna be our beef tenderloin. We're gonna go ahead and add that to the plate. We'll take a little bit of this sauce that we made here and a little bit of those vegetables and pour it right on top. Give it some really nice sauce. Then we're gonna move on to our Chilean sea bass dish here. Same thing, we're gonna put this guy right on top. Go ahead and hit it with a little bit of that really nice sauce. Get a little bit of sauce on top, a little bit of sauce over the quinoa. And then the next dish that we're gonna plate up is gonna be our salmon dish. This is over our couscous. Right. And each one of these, they have a nice sauce to them. This is our Chardonnay cream sauce. We're gonna add a little bit of cilantro that we have chopped right here to the salmon dish. We're gonna add a little bit of chopped parsley to our Chilean sea bass dish. Then we're gonna finish up with our asparagus bundles. That looks so nice. And then we're gonna finish all of these guys with a little bit of cherry tomatoes. Add a little bit of tomatoes to each one of these dishes. So as you can see here, they've all come together really nicely. If you have a different type of protein, a different type of fish, a different cut of steak, you wanted to do a New York steak or even a ribeye, that would be same thing. Just kind of work on your techniques. Make sure that you have the same sort of, that you're looking, listening, and checking the time. So that way you can have a dish like this created at your home. We have our salmon pan roasted with the couscous, as well as our Chilean sea bass. And each one of these is paired with our asparagus bundle. All right, all you amazing chefs out there, we're down to our final dish. We're gonna be working on our chocolate mousse here. We're gonna go ahead and get about 1 quart of heavy cream. 1 quart is about 4 cups. We're gonna add a little bit of sugar. We got about 2 ounces of sugar. And then I like to add a really nice amount of vanilla. I think vanilla is gonna help just make all the flavor in this dish pop really nice. So we're gonna go ahead and get this guy going. All right, so as we have that cream whipping and we're gonna try and get that to some nice stiff peaks, we're gonna go ahead and we have 1 more cup of heavy cream that we're gonna be bringing to a boil. And right as it comes to a boil, we wanna add 2 cups of our chocolate chips. I like to use a really nice chocolate. That way it melts really good. And the heat from the cream is gonna let all of the chocolate melt really nicely. And we do wanna go ahead and turn off the fire so that way our chocolate doesn't burn or seize up on you and creates like a bunch of little unwanted texture inside the chocolate mousse. All right, now that all our chocolate is melted, you can see that we don't have any lumps in there. Looks nice and good. I'm gonna reserve a little bit of the chocolate off to the side. And we want that to stay warm. And what I have here is 1 tablespoon of gelatin that I've mixed with warm water. And I'm gonna add that to our chocolate mixture. This is our ganache right here. And then I'm gonna mix this one. And I do like to leave this one kind of on the stove where the chocolate was melting, so this way it stays nice and warm. If you let this get too cold, then the gelatin will actually start to get hard and create little lumps in your chocolate mousse. And so you do want to avoid that. So I have my ganache here, and we're gonna go ahead and bring it back over here, and then we're gonna start mixing everything together. All right, now that we have our whipped cream has been already whipped for about 2 to 3 minutes. You can see it's got some nice peaks to it. We'll leave that right there. We're gonna add our chocolate to it. And what we wanna do is we wanna kinda like make sure that we get all that chocolate. What we're gonna do is just kinda like fold it in. We don't wanna use the whisk because then you might eliminate a lot of the bubbles that you already incorporated into it. As you can see streaks of the dark chocolate, the chocolate mixed with the whipped cream, as well as the whipped cream that hasn't been incorporated with any of the chocolate. You wanna make a nice smooth mixture. We're gonna go ahead and whip this for about maybe 1 to 2 minutes. Wanna make sure that we don't have any streaks in there. This way it's all one color. Once you see that all of the chocolate's been incorporated to the whipped cream, we're gonna go ahead and add our gelatin mixture. And with our gelatin mixture, I like to mix it a little bit on top first. This way we get it incorporated, kind of thin it out. This way we don't get any little parts that have gelatin that seizes up and you get little lumps in your nice smooth chocolate mousse. And again, we're just gonna fold this in for about another 1 to 2 minutes. This is probably one of my favorite dishes that we make at our private chef service. It's one of our more popular items as well. I'm gonna also show you guys a couple of different ways to plate this up. So if you wanted to do more of like sort of a dessert hors d'oeuvre style, or if you wanted to do more of a plated style, we'll have a little bit of both. And so as you can see, we don't have any streaks in any of the last little bit that we have here. And then we're gonna take our pastry bag that we have here and we're gonna fill it with the mousse. I like these disposable bags. They're nice, they're easy to use. Don't have to worry about cleanup. I went ahead and stuck a star tip down at the bottom. And we have a couple of little mini wine glasses that we have here. So these are 2 little mini wine glasses that we have here. We'll also have some toasted phyllo shells that we've popped in the oven for just a couple minutes, make them nice and crispy. And so we took our marble cake, we stuck them at the bottom of our little champagne glasses. We have our little phyllo shells. Just gonna throw a little garnish on there. Our chocolate mousse, we have dessert hors d'oeuvre style, or if you wanna do a little plated dinner, nice little elegance. You can stick them in the refrigerator for just a couple hours and enjoy. Awesome. All right, thank you guys for joining us today. We hope you had a good time. Hope you learned a couple of things. Hope to see you on our next one when we're gonna be going over a few different, any of your get-togethers or family parties. They'll be a hit and a success. We'd like to send out a special thank you to one of our sponsors, Partners in Building, a luxury custom home builder out in Houston. And we hope to see you again on our next show. Visit us on our website, amazingchefcreations.com, or at Amazing Chef Creations on Instagram. Hope to see you soon. Thank you. Have a good day.